The thirst is a rock in the throat. It is the dust on the tongue and the heat behind the eyes. From the mouth of their shallow cave, the clan watches the river. The water, a ribbon of cool, shimmering life, is a lie. It is a promise that kills. For 3 turnings of the moon, the river has belonged to the silent god, the great Pisces, or they call Longtooth. The immense Spinosaurus does not roar or rampage. Its terror is one of patience. It simply exists. Its great sailor jagged fin that slices the morning mist, its long conical teeth-studded snout resting just at the surface. It has learned that the small two-legged creatures are slow, soft, and must eventually drink. This is the brutal reality of their prehistoric life. These are not the mighty hunters of clan stories yet to be told. They are Homo Habilis, the clever hands, their greatest triumph for sharpened stone, that can barely scratch the hide of the behemoths that rule this ancient earth. They are a species clinging to a rung low on the ladder of life, and something is always reaching up from below. Their world has shrunk to this precipice of sandstone, a fragile sanctuary between the deep forest full of raptors and the river of certain death. They are a people besieged by giants, and their numbers thin like mist in the noon sun. If you have ever felt the slow creep of a fear that drinks the very hope from your marrow, then you know their silence. Come, walk the cracked earth with us, and listen. The old man roared, Silax his remaining teeth. A gesture of futility. His gaze is on the water's edge, where a small, smooth stone door lies half buried in the mud. It belonged to the last one taken. A young female, barely a woman, who had dashed for the water in a fit of desperate, heat-maddened courage. There was no great battle. Only a ripple, a surge of impossible speed as the theropod exploded from the shallows, and a single, choked-off scream. Longtooth had returned to its silent vigil moments later, a placid god once more. The attack was so efficient it was insulting. It was the way a bird snatches a worm. For these early humans, survival skills were not about dominance, but about avoiding the notice of true masters. Now, their water skins, fashioned from the stomachs of small creatures, are stiffened empty. The children no longer cry. They make small, dry rasping sounds in the shade. The hunters cannot hunt, their bodies weakened by dehydration. They cannot even gather roots, for the richest patches grow near the damp soil of the riverbank. This is a siege of attrition, the most ancient and effective warfare. The Spinosaurus does not need to hunt them. This is the truth about dinosaurs that matters. They are the masters of time, of patience, of the world itself. Away from the huddled despair of the main group, Kale sits alone. He is small for his clan, his arms thin, his strength not in the spear but in the stillness of his watch. He does not stare at the river. He has seen enough of that death. Instead, he watches the sky. He tracks the slow march of the sun, the gathering of dark clouds on the horizon, the way the air itself seems to grow heavy in taste of metal. He observes the world beyond their immediate terror, a habit that has long made him an outcast. While the others see only the monster in the water, Kale sees the whole board, the vast and indifferent world in which the monster lives. And he is beginning to see that even gods have things they fear. The sky splits open. It is not a gentle rain that comes, but a furious, hammering deluge. Lightning shears the darkness, each flash a temporary, brutal noon that etches the prehistoric world in stark white and black. Thunder follows, a physical blow that shakes the stones and rattles the teeth. The clan shrinks back into their cave, their fear of the monster in the river momentarily eclipsed by their terror of the sky. This is a world of raw power, and they are fragile things of flesh and bone, but Kale does not hide. He crawls to the edge of the overhang, his eyes fixed on the water, the rain plastering his hair to his skull. He watches the god, and he sees that it is afraid. With every flash of lightning, the great Spinosaurus recoils. The massive theropod, the undisputed tyrant of the river, thrashes in the shallows. It emits a low, guttural bellow, a sound of distress, not aggression. When a bolt strikes a tall fern tree on the opposite bank, igniting it in a hiss of fire, the creature panics. It flings its great head back, its long snout pointing at the sky as if accusing an unseen enemy. The lightning illuminates its sail, revealing the tall neural spines beneath the skin, a grotesque crown on a terrified king. It is not the rain, it is not the wind. It is the light and the noise, the flash then the boom. A pattern of terror. And in Kayla's mind a thought ignites, brighter and more dangerous than any lightning strike. An idea that will forever alter the course of hominid history. Fear can be forged. When the storm recedes, leaving a clean, steaming world in its wake, Kale approaches the elders. Horde is trying to coax a small flame back to life from the embers. The others are listless, the brief reprieve from the heat doing little to soothe their deep thirst. Kale does not use many words. His language is one of action. He takes a burning branch from the fire and thrusts it forward, mimicking the sudden, blinding flash of lightning. The others flinch. He snatches up a heavy femur from their bone pile, the last remnant of an iguanodon, and smashes against a fallen hollow log. The deep, resonant BOM echoes through the canyon. It is a pathetic imitation of the storm's fury, yet the effect is immediate. Every head snaps up, every eye is wide with a shared memory of the thunder. Kale points with the burning stick, first at the fire, then at the log, then he points to the river. He crouches low, mimicking the great beast, and acts out a scene of cowering terror. It is a crude pantomime, the first strategic briefing. It is ludicrous. It is insane. To challenge the monster not with spears, but with light and sound. To deliberately draw its attention. Horde rises, his face a mask of disbelief. This is the talk of a spirit-addled boy. He sees the cracked lips, the sunken eyes of the children, the trembling hands of the hunters. The old way, the way of hiding and waiting, is a slow, guaranteed death. This is a quick death. Or it is life. It is the hardest choice, to embrace a terrifying unknown or to accept a miserable certainty. He looks from Kayla's fiercely burning eyes to the placid, deadly river. The clan will not survive another day of this thirst. He gives a single sharp nod. Nightfall comes not as a comfort but as a shroud. The darkness is absolute, amplifying every rustle in the unseen forest, every ripple from the river where the god waits. But tonight, for the first time, the clan does not hide from the darkness. They feed it. The fire, usually kept small and furtive, is built into a roaring pyre at the very edge of their sandstone shelf, a beacon of defiance. The wood is precious, every piece a risk to gather, but tonight they burn it all. The heat pushes back the oppressive humidity, and the light carves a pocket of a new, human-made world out of the Mesozoic gloom. The children and the elders huddle. At the back of the cave, their faces flickering orange and shadowed with terror and hope. Kale stands before the clan. In his hands are the flat, heavy stones. He looks at them, then at the half-dozen hunters arrayed before the fire, each holding a similar pair of rocks or thick, dry branches. He gestures to the three largest hollow logs they could find, dragged with immense effort and positioned near the fire's edge. This is his symphony of fear. It is a desperate piece of primitive technology, built not of flint and bone, but of observation and an audacious sweep of logic. The anthropology of tomorrow will speak of tools, but what they are crafting here is an idea, the most powerful to love all. There is no rehearsal. There is only the performance. Kale raises his stones high. He catches the eye of a young hunter named Gor, whose brother was the first to be taken by the river god. Gor's jaw is tight, his knuckles white. Kale gives a sharp, downward nod. The first clash of stone on stone is a pathetic, clicking sound against the vast silence. Then another joins, and another, ragged and out of rhythm. But they continue, a frantic, stony heartbeat. Kale then points to the log drummers. The three men begin to pound the hollow logs with heavy femurs, and a deep, resonant BOM. BOM, 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 BOM. BOM, BOM. BOM. BOM rolls out across the water. It is a broken, clumsy rhythm, but it is loud. It is thunder. A black saw blade against the firelight. It turns its long head toward the noise, a low growl rumbling in its chest. Kale signals again. This is the key. A line of hunters, hidden in the shadows, thrust long, dry reed torches into the main pyre. They ignite instantly. On Kayla's command, they hurl them in a high-arc out over the water. For a moment, a volley of fire hangs in the air, a constellation of human will. They land on the water's surface with a series of loud hisses, sputtering and sending up plumes of steam. A flash, then the boom of the drums. The Spinosaurus jerks back, letting out a roar of confusion and rage. They throw another volley. Flash, boom. Another. Flash, boom. It is working. The monster is agitated, disoriented by the assault on its senses, its primal fear of the storm now turned against it. It begins to back away from the bank, sloshing into deeper water. But in their frenzy, one hunter, Gor, fueled by grief and a surge of adrenaline, pushes too close to the edge. He slips on the damp rock. The Spinosaurus, its predator instinct momentarily overriding its fear, lunges, not at the fire, but at the sound of a single helpless creature. Gor scrambles, but the long snout is a blur of motion. In that split second, toward the old man who had sanctioned this madness does the unthinkable. He snatches the largest burning log from the fire, a weight that should be impossible for him, and with a final, guttural shout, he heaves it directly at the monster's head. The burning timber strikes the Spinosaurus near its eye. The beast recoils with a shriek of genuine pain, shaking its massive head, and in that instant, Gor finds his footing and scrambles back to safety. The monster, now burned and thoroughly terrified by the relentless storm of human making, turns and crashes away into the deep darkness of the river, leaving behind only widening ripples and a profound, ringing silence. They have won the river, but Horde lies on the ground, his chest still leant, his hands burned, the effort having taken the last of his life. Victory, they learn, is just another word for what you have paid for. The clan approaches the river's edge. The water is no longer a monster's lair. It is just water. They drink, their hands trembling, scooping the life-giving liquid to their mouths, the taste of survival mixed with the ash of sacrifice. Kale watches them, his heart a heavy stone in his chest. He looks at Horde's still form, then at the river, then at the river, then at the stars that seem impossibly bright and distant. They did not kill the god. They did not need to. Soft creatures of the land now held the fury of the sky in their hands. This act, this desperate gamble born of intellect and cooperation, will not be recorded on any stone tablet. It will leave no fossil. But it is the moment that Homo Habilis truly begins their ascent, the first step in a million-year journey from prey to planet shaper. It is a whisper of the dawning mind, an echo of the courage that would one day build cities and reach for those same silent stars, a testament to the audacious belief that even the greatest monsters can be broken by an idea. This is the sound of the beginning. And across the great plains, a new sound carries on the wind, the thunder of a million hooves, a migration that will bring with it a new kind of hunger and a new kind of god.